Hello, folks. Here we are, another Saturday Night Live Zoom. Another day under our belt, and we keep on digging and digging and digging. As they say, been an interesting day. Caregiver didn't show up for my mom again.
Another weekend.
It's always something going on, but hey, finally they found somebody. Last minute.
Yeah. It was a different lady from the one who was supposed to come.
Yeah. Anyway, these are the challenges we have, when we seem to live a life where our responsibility is not our first priority.
People just don't do what they're supposed to do anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, my voice is still a little dry. I moved into a semi-dry in the last couple of days, so it's been pretty aggressive for a few days and slowed it down a bit. But we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep going. Because what else is there to do? Eat. We've been doing that for freaking decades. Hello, Angelica, Uros, Margaret. How's everybody doing?
Hi, Gino. Hi, Rana. How are you?
Good.
Hi.
How are you?
Long time no see.
You're in a car.
I'm in the car. I'm heading home to my real home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've been doing okay. Last month, my friend went to visit me in Maryland, and we ended up going on a tour in Washington, D.C., and I decided to have
Wapland.
some food. And oh man, it's been challenging since then. It went from the moment you have one little taste, it just escalates from there. So, needless to say, my feet were like elephant feet. My face, my arms were bloated, um, and still it was like, okay, I'll just have this one other thing that I'm craving, and then that's it. And then I do it again and again and again, and decided, no, these past few days I've eaten clean. I'm fasting. Today's day 3 of dry fasting, and my cravings are starting to go away. Yesterday I had a realization that I looked forward to watermelon when I was done, when I was going to get ready to finish my dry fast. I would think, okay, I can't wait to have watermelon. And lately I was thinking, okay, I can't wait to have so and so processed food. So I noticed something shifted, and I noticed it. And since then, I've been thinking more about watermelon. If I start thinking about the processed food, I remember, okay, let's think about watermelon, how wonderful it tastes after the dry fast. And that's been helping me. I have NLP techniques that'll help me, that help people release cravings in general. I used to love donuts, sugar donuts.
Ooh,
And
wow.
I did an NLP technique, got that wiped out, taken care of. Um, and so I maybe need to work on these other ones. And it's one step at a time. I know for a fact I'm not going backwards. I'm not. I am moving forward at a new stage, which is deeper. So this is more challenging. And it's just me having to step up to a more challenging, or deeper layer, if you will. So it was so funny. I have to share with you guys, and I know this is being recorded, so it'll be on here forever. But I got fired from my career as a babysitter,
Ah,
um, right before this last full moon. It was tough, and I was offering unsolicited advice to my daughter, and she had it up to here, and me being mommy. And so I was told to go home and figure out how to get home. So I guess it was my out. I needed my time, my own time, versus having to, not do dry fast on certain days, not do my grape juice, my plasma pudding at a certain time because I needed to take care of um, a 10-month-old, which at the time was 7, up until 7. So I was watching him for several months. And it kind of, I had to balance it out, which I did it with all my heart. I love my grandson, and I also love my time. So either way, I'm grateful that I'm where I am. And now I'm home, and we're in the process of buying a house. So now everything's packed up except my Kalima board. And so I'm doing that, and I'm doing foot baths to help my what used to be my elephant feet. They're so much better now. Actually, it's practically gone, and I've been elevating my feet. So it's been an awesome learning lesson because I got to see firsthand how food, or the sad diet, if you will, even, you know what, even the vegan food and the raw food did changed my body. Um, and I could see it. It was like immediate. It was the to watch the way my body reacted instantly, because I'm guessing, with the little bit of mucus lining that is in my stomach, in my intestines, that the switch happens so much more quicker than throughout my lifetime, where I'm already born with the lining. And so eating a sad diet isn't as obvious, or maybe I wasn't paying attention back then because my eyes weren't as open as they are now. But now, watching me eat and then noticing the effect immediately was almost um, exciting in a way, for lack of words. Like, wow, look at this. Look at how food affects my body so quickly. It was just amazing to watch. Not that I want that to happen anymore, but it was just so interesting. And I had seen a picture of a master faster before that had these beautiful chunky legs, and I'm like, and I have really skinny bony legs. I mean, though my whole body is, but I have the body figure of someone with really, really skinny legs. I've always had that. And so it's funny, when I saw that picture, I was like, wow, I wonder how lucky is that person, because they thinned out and yet they were able to keep these beautiful, sexy legs. Well, manifestation is real. And I think I'm manifesting so much now that I'm cleaner than I ever have before, because my husband and I also have been talking about buying a house. Lo and behold, we're ready to close in a couple of weeks, in less than a couple of weeks. So my life, it's just amazing. This experience has been so beautiful. Granted, there's things that I would prefer not to go through, but at the same time, I love going through them too. So that's where I'm at. And a part of me was avoiding connecting with you all because I knew that what I was doing was not following the protocol. And either you do it or you don't. And I was going through that challenging time, and I don't want to say I want to step up, because there's still a part of me who I'm dealing with the cravings. They're not as strong as they were. Like yesterday and today, they've been mild, but I'm still, there's this still little part of me that wants to go have that one food that I'm not craving as much as I was craving, but it's slightly in my head still. Although the watermelon is more of a 75% winner at this point when I'm done with my dry fast tomorrow morning. So I can't genuinely say I'm stepping up because I'm still fighting it, for lack of words. I don't want to use the word fight either because that's not
You just started, right? Like today's day, like the
day
third.
three.
Yeah.
Today's day three of my dry fast.
Yeah. So when you start, it's always you're gonna have cravings. It's like it's just a given, you know. I mean, the dry fasting, I would say, is does really help. You know, at the beginning, if you do 3 day dry fast, it does really help with the cravings to eliminate them. And then but yeah, you in my from my experience, I would say give it 3 weeks of like sometimes, you know, thinking about food before you feel completely comfortable with, you know, not eating, you know, or the cravings, even if you're eating once in a while, you know. I would say
Yeah,
give it some time. Yeah, it's you just started, so cravings, yes, will always be there at the beginning, in my opinion. They will always be there at the beginning, but they will get less and less and less and less as the body releases. It's all, in my opinion, it's all the obstructions. The obstructions are sitting there, and that's why we have cravings. The less obstructions, the less cravings.
when I started in September, I was so gung ho. And every time I would get cravings, all I did was close my eyes and eat it,
Mhm.
in my mind
Hmm.
because it was so fresh that the thought of eating and not feeling well was so fresh in my mind that I looked forward to enjoying it in my mind versus in my mouth.
Mhm.
And then a month ago, I just took that little bite of a so-called healthier version of food, and that was enough for me to get sucked in. And I feel I don't feel well, yet I'm like, I don't care. I enjoyed every bite of it.
Exactly.
That's
And
good.
it's like, but that at the same time doesn't help me because then it's like, okay, what else, something else I'll crave. And it's like, okay, when should I go get that? So it's all about discipline too.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
point, like, what do I want? And I need to go back to my why. Why am I doing this?
Hmm.
And I wrote it down. I created a whole timeline. It's called a SMART goal. So you create something where it's already in the future. Today is December 30th, and I have spent 30 days living and loving master fast and eating clean and all of that. I wrote it all out, and I need to go visit it, and I haven't. So this is a new stage for me that I'm experiencing. And it's funny, never say never. I hear other people experiencing it, and here I am like, oh well, they could do this, they could do that, if only they could, they were aware of what I'm seeing for them, and how easy it could be for them to overcome it. Oh boy, when I'm in it,
It's easy to be trapped.
it's empathy for everyone else who has been through it.
Oh yeah, and I think that's good for all of us to feel for others. You know, sometimes when I break as well, I'm like, okay, all right, I need, you know, it's good to slow down a little bit so I can understand, you know, other people, feel for them, and feel, you know, you know, when you go through it, you will feel, you will feel everything, and you will feel for other people as well. You know, the more we fast and break and fast and break, we it's a reminder every time, and it's always a beautiful learning experience. It can be painful for sure, but try your best, do your best to make it as least painful as possible. And I
Yeah.
feel, of course, you know, the full moon, more emotions and more obstructions, of course, and that's, I feel that's why we have the emotional, a little bit imbalance, maybe, or whatever. things come up, and you had a lot of things to deal with your daughter, right? And that's great. Yeah, if
Yes.
I'm sure it was in your mind for a long time, and now you did it. And that's
Yeah, and I would have loved to stay with her because we could have created a new relationship,
Yeah.
you know, but it was I was asked to find my way home my ASAP, so and it's fine. It's perfect because this is good too. Distance also creates an opportunity to think things through and say, okay, for whatever you're meant to think things through, because whatever she's doing is like her thing, and what I'm thinking through is because I'm ready to think through that, whatever it is I'm going to think through about our relationship. So
yeah, you
the other
look.
thing I wanted to share with you guys, and this is just so amazing, I love learning um, what is happening to me with by master fasting. My husband noticed my face was swelling because I ate some other stuff once I got home. And he goes, "Oh, look at your face. The lines are filling in." And I'm like, "I'm bloated. That's why they're filling in." But to him, it looked
You get
appealing. So then I run over to Costco to pick up some stuff, and I show my card to the cashier, and she looks at it. She looks at me, and it's funny because I had that. Um, I woke up that morning looking even more bloated, right? So I look in the mirror, and I knew what was going on because the conversation with my husband had happened the day before. And I'm like, wow, look at my face. And then I go to Costco. The lady looks at my card, looks at me and says, "Is this your card, ma'am?" And I said, "Yeah, doesn't that look like me?" She goes, "No, you look much younger." I'm like, wow, are we so reversed? Like, like, it's so much more confirmation for me to see how programmed we are. And the mirror, looking in the mirror is always that opposite, what's left is right and what's right is left. And it's just incredible. Granted, like I said, I don't want to go through those situations necessarily, the cravings and the results from it, the bloating, but the learnings are just so priceless. And to experience them at the moment, and I'm loving it.
Maybe she said you look younger because of all the fasting and cleansing that you've been doing. How old is the photo?
It could be. I interpret it that way because of my face, and she's looking at my face. So it could be anything. It's I'm could be creating my own judgment or opinion about it. I was to me I connected those, and I was just
Yeah, your husband definitely was giving you a compliment, but like you were not feeling good. And I had this also happen many times. I eat if I fall off sometimes, and I don't eat too well. Maybe something with salt or something I buy, or oil. And if I do this for a few days, I start bloating. And of course, I get thirsty, so I drink, which is not a good idea, to be thirsty. And my body holds the water, right? And I used to get so many compliments. I'm like, okay, like seriously. I was like, thank you so much, but I feel like I'm dying. Thank you so much for your compliment. I'm not feeling good at all. When you saw me before, when I was fasting, and they don't think I looked good, I was feeling absolutely amazing. And then when I broke my fast, and especially with obstructive food, I got the compliments. And at the end, I started telling people, "You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about." I just, I told them, "You have no idea what you're talking about."
It's just a belief system perception where you have what people are supposed to look like and everything. What's appealing, what we're used to, and so on and so forth.
Also, yeah, initially when we're fasting, we're gonna release a lot. So yes, sure, we're gonna lose more. But once the body balances out, when we find our balance, I believe it's gonna be different. You know, your look is not gonna change so much. Your weight is not going to change so much. Your skin will always look good. Yeah?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
have
you
to be
don't lose
patient.
over time. You don't lose
Yeah.
large amounts of weight like you did when you started, for sure.
Yeah, like we don't lose much. I mean, Gino, does, like you can't tell he's dry fasting. Um, you know, which is great. Good for you. Yeah. Yeah. But some people, you
Sorry, I
know,
can barely hear you. I can you hear me?
yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm dry fasting and I'll be breaking my dry fast tomorrow morning.
So, Angelica, what do you want to do after? Have you have a little plan for yourself?
Well, before my dry fast, I was thinking about going back to maybe level 3, level 4, because I was thinking about all the other foods I can slowly get into. Now that this is day 3, I'm not thinking about that so much. I'm actually thinking about doing, going up to the 6th day and or 5, level 5, or maybe even level 6, and having the grape juice and the watermelons. What's becoming a little bit tough is that this time of the year it's so hard to find um, fruit,
Yeah. Go
and
with this.
so I'm thinking maybe even going full time on MFS, the full MFS. I honestly not I I'm not committing to anything. I'm like, okay, it's almost like what do I feel in the moment? And that's kind of been my life situation. Whatever I feel now is what I'll do versus let me plan this out and stick to it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I'm replaying my old habits. So I don't I the most effective way to do this for me is to plan it and stick to it.
Mm.
And thanks for calling me out on it.
Yeah.
So
As long as, you know, it's about learning from our mistakes, you know, like recall what happened, you were feeling great, and then slowly you fell off. And, you know, I usually like to think, how did I fall off exactly? And then maybe what to change, you know, so that I don't fall off as easily like this, you know, next time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, um,
As long as we're learning, you know, it's all about learning and improving.
yeah, and that's I have to sit with that. I really have to sit with that and meditate to put myself in that mindset and release and let go and um, follow a plan.
Mhm. For the fruits, you know, there is always a seasonal fruit that is great, you know. Like right now we have, I buy, like there are so many grapes out there in the store where we go. It's an Asian store, but I buy specific like Italian grapes. If they're not there, I wouldn't buy grapes. Like you have to find something that you love. And they're like, you know, they're so ripe, they're green, but they turn yellow when they're ripe, you know. And the other grapes, they don't, like I don't see them ripe. So find something that you love. So these ones I like to buy when I see them. I was gonna buy pomegranates, but I just wanted to eat tomorrow, so I didn't buy too much fruits. So pomegranates is another one you can buy. Like they have now Spanish pomegranates in boxes. I was gonna buy today. And another thing is clementines. Actually, they're looking like there is also, I think, Spanish
Oh,
clementines. Um, that are also good quality. So start, yeah, there's always something for the season. This is for the now, and then in a few months, I don't know, it's gonna be different. Yeah.
What about pineapples?
Pineapples, I wouldn't buy them.
If you can find them ripe, it's very
yeah.
difficult to find them ripe.
Very hard to find them. Right.
Well, yes. Can I buy them green and let them ripe?
They don't really ripen properly. We've tried. I try and pick the one that's
The
got
right
some
stuff.
odor and some yellow in the skin and stuff. And we've tried it with CO2 GANs, and they ripen pretty good.
One experience for me years ago, I ate it as a mono meal, like just half the water, the pineapple, and my tongue started bleeding. I thought it was ripe. I had it like on the countertop for a few days, and it smelled. The whole kitchen smelled like pineapple. But my tongue was bleeding, blood coming. This is how strong it
You
is.
put them upside down. Put some. If you have CO2 GANs, put some drops on it, and see if it'll ripen. But they don't really ripen properly off a vine like a banana. Banana still ripens perfectly off the plant. There's few fruits that do that. Some fruits just
Yeah.
do not ripen once they're picked early, and it is what
Okay.
it is. Like mangoes, they pick them; they're hard like a rock. They never ripen. They rot before they ripen.
Yeah, you have to buy them ripe already in the store.
Yeah.
So what I do is I go in the store and I just scan, and I get drawn to the ripe stuff. That's the way I do it. Whatever is ripe, and that's what I'll go for. If there's nothing ripe, okay, well, it's not supposed to eat. So last couple of weeks there was nothing that satisfied me, so I didn't eat.
I have noticed that pineapple when I eat it too, my tongue feels raw, very sensitive.
It's
And I
got a
guess it's that
strong signal, pineapple.
the pineapple was not ripe.
It generally, even if when it's ripe, it's got a strong signal to tell you to stop eating it. Like if you've ever gone out and eaten wild plants, wild greens, they have a very strong signal. If you go out and pick wild dandelion, you start eating them, you'll see all of a sudden your body will say, "That's enough." Your body, you'll not want to eat anymore. And you just got to pay attention to every food has that, but the wild foods have the strongest signals for that. And then, the more they've been cultivated and hybrid and away from their natural wild state, the less they have of that. Pineapple, for some reason, it's got a really strong signal, even though it's been hybridized, blah, 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 blah. It's one of those plants, but everything has that. The more we, are in tune and clean ourselves up, and the more we'll be able to pay attention to these things. And that's it, just pay attention. As the senses awaken, as you've been sharing earlier, it's a beautiful thing. Like we never had these senses before; they were completely asleep, and it feels not normal to many people who go through fasting who don't do their homework. It's absolutely normal, and it's just that we've been asleep for so long we don't even know what it feels like. We've been born asleep, so to be awakened in a new state that we've never experienced, it's like, what is this? This is something's wrong. That's what people interpret it. There's absolutely nothing's wrong. It's your senses coming back online, and it's a beautiful thing to have that.
Yeah, I came home to see my other Shih Tzu, oh, fat as a little piggy, and I put him on a 3-day fast, dry fast, and then gave him some of the meat because my husband doesn't want me to do full MFS on him. It's like, okay, fine, not right now. That's fine. We'll ease into it so everyone here is comfortable. So, but I did have some of the not the full MFS,
The hybrid.
sorry,
Chicken frames.
MFS meat that I made for Eskimo. I had it in the freezer. I brought it with me, And so I gave him that, and I've been giving him fruit and a sweet potato, mono meals. And he's dry fasting with me this time around. And we're only scratching the surface. He's lost the weight, so he looks better now. And and he cries to my husband, to feed him. And my husband's like, "I'm sorry, honey. Go talk to your mama." And he'll come to me and say, why are you doing this to him? What has he done to you? I'm like, you and I are on a different page. I've experienced God had, like, the beloved has talked to me, and I mean, he doesn't understand it. I know he thinks I'm crazy too, and here I am still sharing things with him. Um, but I've told him, I know from experience, no one has had to tell me what I'm doing and what health really is. I've seen it for myself. I felt it. I know it for myself. I'm here with the support group, and I follow the protocol. And at the same time, I get messages, and I'm confirmed that what I'm doing is right, and there's more knowledge, deeper information that I get. And I shared that with him, that I'm doing this because I know. And he's been asking me, "Are you going to give him at least water the last 2 days?" And I'm like, "It depends, I'll see how he's doing, and I'll see if he needs it." So today he asked me again, and he's like, and he looked at at my dog, and he's like, "Hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Your mom is the one doing this to you, not me. Don't blame me for it," because he was crying again. And I looked at him. I go, "You know what, babe?" I go, "You have so little faith in our health, in our bodies." I said, "We abuse it for years since we're children, and we think nothing of it. And here, 3 days of dry fasting to bring our health back to life, and it's torture for you, it." And he goes, "You know what? You're right. Yeah, I know, you're right." So it at least knocked some sense into him. Not that I'm not gonna try to convince him. I'm not going to convince him that, but this conversation, I don't know. I guess I am trying to convince him, because even with this conversation, I was trying to get him to see that what I'm doing to Bugsy is okay.
Yeah.
But
Have
it's
you?
kind of hard not to, since he's also a caregiver.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Did
Sure.
you?
my learning too is to just keep my mouth shut, and stay in my lane. And I do that. People I'll ask me, they know I'm into health, and I've always been. And there's things that I'm doing, and they'll ask me, "Oh, I'm having this symptom, and you know this and this, or somebody's in the hospital, and they have liver cancer." And I know very well that in the past I tried to give them some sensible advice, and they don't follow it. So today my father-in-law told me about someone who is in the hospital, a relative of his. And instead of giving advice, which was unsolicited, I didn't know he didn't ask me if I had any advice for him. All I nodded was like, "Oh, really? Oh, okay, okay." Because, I mean, I could plant a seed, or, I mean, I could go that way, or I could just keep my mouth shut and live my life, and start showing the real results, and people seeing that, versus if they're not ready to listen, then all it's gonna I don't know. I guess it could go either way. I can plant a seed, and create a little bit of rocking the boat now, but plant the seed, or I can just let it be and let them see the results for themselves. I guess it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
the last 3 decades, what I've seen, even with the results right in front of their eyes, they're not interested. When they're ready, they will come and they will ask.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. So, waste of breath most of the time. What I found. Planting these seeds, you will see some sprout here and there, but most of the time, it doesn't matter what happens to you, how bright you shine. No interest. Most people are just into their routine, and that's it. Whatever it is. But I was going to
Yeah.
ask you, the dog. Did you prepare for the 3-day fast, and are you feeding it only once a day regularly?
Yes, when you say prepare for a fast, you mean feed once a day?
Well, that should be maximum for a dog anyway, once a day. But I mean, like wash out his colon and stuff, and
Mm.
you know.
I can't wash his colon right now. Paul is not, my husband, he's not, um, he doesn't want me to do so. I'm only doing few things. Um, I'm gonna start putting Cascara Sagrada drops in his food to at least help him release something,
Did he break it
aside
already?
from what he normally releases.
Hmm.
So I gotta play it slowly in
Yeah,
order to
yeah.
get my husband on
But,
board.
Did he
well,
break it already?
No, he's gonna break it with me tomorrow morning. Do you think that's an
Just
issue,
watch him.
having the 3 days?
yeah, do it slow. That's 3 days is quite a bit. Has he fasted before?
He was on a protocol before where I would fast him once a week. I
Okay,
I,
good.
I fed him mono meals, and it was fruit, usually like 2 days of fruit, 1 day of like a sweet potato, and then 1 day of meat, and then fast, and then kind of repeat the cycle, and sometimes like switch them off to keep the body guessing. But
Yeah.
then I left to Maryland, and I really don't think my husband was following anything. He just fed him as he pleased. Because when I came home, I could see how chunky the little guy was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It's,
I mean, I could give him, I have the calcium carbonate water that I could give him tonight, and prepare him for breaking the fast tomorrow so I can feed him watermelon tomorrow.
yeah. I remember, I had a dog that I adopted from somebody, and it was chunky and lethargic. I can't remember how old it was. It was up there, 7, 8 years old when I got it, and I started fasting this dog. Uh, 2 days a week. My goodness gracious, the dog turned into a puppy very quickly. Started feeding them raw meat and stuff. They heal very quick. Animals, in the wild, a lot of these meat eaters, they don't eat every day. Like lions, they can go 3, 4 days without food or whatever. This is the way they do. They fast, they feast, and they famine, fast and feed and famine. It's over and over and over that cycle. That is how they live in the wild. But the problem with domesticated dogs and other animals is they're not living on their natural diets, and that's the problem. They're so obstructed. So as long as the bowels are moving well, that's the key thing. Keep those bowels moving always. That's the number
Yeah.
one thing for them.
My plan is once like we're moving into our new home in like less than 14 days, and I can settle in like within a week after that. I'll see what I can do about doing an enema on him, um, finding a nice place to do it where my husband can be okay with it, even if I just do it once a week or something, and then twice a week after that, and just slowly moving into it. Um, that I would like to do that. I would like to do that because my little guy right now, he's not in a critical situation like Eskimo was.
Hmm.
And I learned so much from, working with Eskimo, that I feel confident that this guy will pull through with flying colors. He will. In no time will he turn around.
How old is the dog?
He did. This one is, I'm going to say 9 years old.
Okay.
So he's older, but, and he has allergies. Now, Eskimo can't, you know, I mean, if we're going to call it what the animals,
Whatever.
he had cancer in wrapped around his heart and his lungs. So it was a little bit. And it was my first time, working with a dog in a situation that was, like that. It's very toxic. Where Bugsy's toxic, but not critical. I don't see it as critical. I see this as something that can be turned around very quickly.
Well, yeah, we don't want to put any diagnosis to anything because doctors clear people their total bill of health and then they go home and drop dead. So what does that mean?
That is
we,
true. Is true.
we just work with the new understanding and move in that direction to assist and do the best we can. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Michelle shared it on her interview. I can't remember, but she shared with me. I don't remember where about how she learned to do enemas with horses, race horses, and they would win. They would do enemas before the race. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
I'll have to keep
I
that in
I would
mind and share that.
yeah I would have never have thought of doing an enema on an animal myself. You know, Michelle, but God bless her that she passed that information for the Mass Fast protocol. You know, she's the one who put that together. And it's pretty amazing when you have that understanding of
Yeah.
what to do.
Yeah.
You've been working with animals for a long time, over 40 years. She saved a lot of animals. But you know, it's
That's a really good point.
yeah. But you're doing great. You know, just keep digging and keep listening to your body. As you start cleaning
All
out,
right.
the signals will become clearer and clearer. When the body's all obstructed, there's no clear signals. People say, yeah, you know, the body has told me to stop fast. It's told me this, told me that. It's all bullcrap. The body's so plugged up, it ain't speaking. There's everything else is speaking except the body. When you start clearing out, then you'll start seeing, okay, now I understand. And then you start listening to the true signals that start being awakened. And it's a whole different
One
ballgame.
thing that stays with me is the messages that I've received. Um, so everything that I'm going through now, that's a little more difficult, if you will. Um, Immediately I pull out my tool bag with all the knowledge that has been sent to me from the beginning. In the beginning, when I would get all these messages, and I get messages now too. Um, but they've been helpful. They've stayed with me, and I'm so grateful for that. So it's almost like they were given to me for preparation of situations like this, even though they were helpful back then too, because everything was so new. When I jumped into full MFS, I really didn't know what to expect, and those messages became very helpful. Well, they're helpful for, and then I kind of became comfortable with the post MFS. Like, I knew now what to expect and stuff. So it started becoming the norm. But now I've gotten into a deeper level that those messages have been handy again. And so I'm
Mhm.
thankful that my beloved has allowed me to keep them and not forget them, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like other things in life that are so easily forgotten, not these. These are here.
Yeah, there's so much to learn, when we are, every time we break the fast, and it's never a journey, it's never smooth, in my opinion. It's there is always ups and downs and lots of learning with them.
Yeah, there's smooth ones too.
Yes, they're smooth, and there's a lot to learn too.
For sure, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thank you. It's been so wonderful to come back. I missed you all.
we miss you
Awesome.
too. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Anyone else like to share?
Bruce, what's happening with your tooth?
Hey guys,
Hey, what's happening?
so I've been to the dentist and no dentist will actually do what I asked asked them to do. They talk about they're having you know their oath to helping people and they won't ruin my mouth and so on.
Yeah.
And I actually encountered this one dentist who did actually manage to clean some of the stuff, and she filled it with some calcium, I think it is, and it's okay. I'm not having pains uh, for today now, which is really amazing. I wasn't sleeping for 3 weeks because of the pains. I mean, I was falling asleep with the clove oil inside my mouth, so I would drool over my face, and I actually, if you could see, I have like a burned part of my mouth from the clove oil, and it's been really going great this past few days. I'm on day 4 massive fast. Did for 36-hour drive, and it was actually a semi drive because I took 2 or 3 sips of tea with tinctures, and it was so smooth. I mean, I could easily go 72 hours, um, but I was just being very cautious with it since my highest record is about 44 hours, and yeah, it's going great.
Nice.
Awesome.
I'm feeling good, and but I'm still not. I haven't really planned out what am I doing. Am I doing a 30-day MFS or am I doing a 6-day MFS?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely getting pulled by the fast, and I want to do more. But I guess I need to be working, and I need to be functional to live in this fast-paced world. All I want to do really is go to my weekend house back in the nature. And I mean, it is owned by my parents, but it's empty, right? And but I need to earn money. This is the problem. And fasting is a luxury for me, definitely. This is all, I'm very grateful to be able to earn my, food and fasting as well. And, for the information, just phenomenal.
There, there was a dentist I read about a while ago, somewhere in the U.S. I don't remember his name. He uh, he was helping people regrow cavities with calcium and zinc, I believe, in a special formula way. You got to understand the zinc is for the emotion, the calcium is for the teeth, but I can't remember his name. They were having pretty good success with what they were doing. So there's all kinds of stuff out there that we can help and assist. But like I said, for me, I can only speak for myself. I did everything possible to keep my teeth, everything possible. I still have all my teeth.
But you
I mean,
didn't have root canal.
no, I didn't have root canal. The one that I got really butchered, and it got filled a few times as a child. That one there was the one they wanted to do a root canal, and I said, no frickin' way, man, no way. And they told me the tooth's dying. They told me all kinds of stuff. I can see the nerve. We can't put a filling. We have to do a root canal. Nope. Nope. Fill it. Well, there's not much there. The only thing we can do is cap it for you. Okay, cap it. So I still have the tooth. But even after I did that work, I had to work with it for a while. I had pain in that area for a while. So don't give up. Don't give up. Keep working. If it starts getting to a point where it's just too much, then you have it pulled. But try and work with it. Try and save that tooth. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, I'll definitely try. And I think, tinctures really help me. And,
Right?
because when you put plantain leaf tincture and Saint Verse tincture as well, it really helps. And I also started, I actually started swishing some urine as well, since I don't have any ozone or gas to use. And I think that helps as well. Not sure, but I'm gonna try. And I'm doing the oil pulling as well. And I found that the cheapest edible oil is sunflower oil. And when you find the sunflower seed cold pressed oil, it's, I think, the very best for oil pulling actually. And yeah,
Don't
I've
fall.
been I've been also having a lot of emotions rising up, and I've been talking to my mother and about stuff. And my mother is really hard to talk to, because the way she speaks to me is just so much triggering for me. When I was in pain, I went to see my mother actually, because I was in the neighborhood, which is a huge mistake, but it was apparently, I mean, of course I'm gonna go to my mother when I'm in a lot of pain, and just because I'm so programmed, you know. And but I didn't show it up, but I actually mentioned to her why that I actually mentioned to her that I don't want to be so so emotionally connected to her, and I don't want to um, care what she thinks about me. And she's she's really hard to talk to, and I it's hard to communicate with her in a productive manner, but it really feels good to release some of that energy. And even when she's using language, and she insults and stuff, it still feels good to talk to her about the stuff. I'm having trouble explaining myself, but my mother thinks that I look like an anorexic girl or something. And she talks to me about the times when I I was my behavior was different and stuff. And I actually think just that it for to her it feels like home when I am being violent, or uh, all the not behavior my behavior was wrong. She felt like home. And now she doesn't really have nothing to hold on to. I just see that as a situation. And I also see myself as a I always been a troll. I always provoke pro, always provoked people. I always provoke people. And it because I guess it felt like home, because my mother was always the one who was um, telling me that I'm not doing something enough, something good enough, or I'm doing something bad or something like that. And I got used to those words, and I always seeked to provoke the same reaction from people, I guess, that I was not doing something good. And yeah, I've been having a lot of realizations, and I actually had a dream as well. I actually um, had a dream about meeting two souls, and I felt really close to them. It wasn't actually a dream. I actually left my body and saw them, and it was really strange. But when my mother asked me what is wrong with my older brother, who is having some issues with his nervous system, and he's in big trouble, I it automatically clicked with me, and I asked my mother actually, did she have abortions before? And she started crying, and she told me that didn't know what she was doing. So I'm still digesting that information right now, and it all makes sense because my brother is like having trouble saying that the demons are trying to possess him or something, and he was on some heavy medication for that. They really fucked him up at the hospital. Like my mother's tried to fuck me up as well. Sorry for my language, but yeah, it's really stressful to watch what is happening to my family, you know. But I'm guessing I'm doing really good, and you know, I actually just have a theory that we chose our parents. You know, people always tell you can't choose your parents, but I think we did. I think we chose to incarnate in that position so we could really overcome everything what we need to overcome. And yeah, I mean, some of us got it better, but I don't believe that's the case. I believe actually that everybody's got their own stuff to take care of.
Yeah, I totally believe so that we actually, it's all planned, you know. It's all planned for a reason, you know. Sometimes, you know, I think, why did I come in this family? I'm a little bit, I'm very different, you know. I'm sure for everybody, for most people here, probably, right? We're quite,
Well, when I'm walking down the street and I'm just hearing people, and sometimes I just ask myself, wow, why am I so different from everybody?
yeah.
It really
And to be
it's
in a
really
family that is very resistant to who you are, like more resistant maybe than other families, I don't know. It's very challenging, of course, and I feel sometimes we are meant to be very challenged um, for some reason. Maybe you know, you are meant to become very strong in that area, you know.
I mean, of course, spirituality is about overcoming. It's not about, you know, astral projections and stuff like that. Those stuff are occasional, but it's not about it. It's about working with what you have. And if you're gonna go, you know, liquidarian or fruitarian in a big city, I mean, that is a lot of stuff to overcome, right? It's very hard. I mean, the air is polluted, and people are different, and you have to work, and everything is fast paced, and you still have to take care of your body. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah, you know, your mother's not trying to fuck you up, as you said. They're doing the things that they believe is the best for you. Even it's just done through ignorance. They just don't know, right? It's we've all been down those roads, and
without even labeling them, they're doing their best.
Yeah,
That's
they're
that's
doing their
all that
best.
matters.
They don't know.
Her intention is really not bad. Deep
I
down,
know,
deep
I
down,
know.
probably very deep down. Sometimes.
It's
And I asked my mother, what does she think? How can she help my older brother? And she said, I would give him some sleeping pills, and he'll be all right. That's that's what she said. So yeah, I mean, it's
yeah,
really ridiculous.
sleeping pills are psychiatric drugs.
Yeah, some people take them to commit suicide. High dose. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
as far as communicating with your mother, like what I do, I just speak to the soul, because in the physicality, there's nothing there to work through that. So you speak to the soul and see the soul happy and content, and that's all we can do.
yeah.
In the physical, I'm watching my mother deteriorate, and it's not easy for me. It's not easy.
I mean, yeah, my family is gonna really take the the bad end here. I mean, their health is deteriorating as well, and there's nothing I can do.
No.
I mean, here on the MFS, we have to be really selfish. We have to be really selfish to live the lifestyle, because
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many exceptional people here, and I'm just amazed by everybody here. Really, it's so many
Well,
exceptional
look at it this way.
individuals.
Let's say you have children. If you're not in your best health, how can you take care of your children? So you have to be a little bit selfish. You have to put yourself first so you can take care
Of course, of course.
of
I
loved
think we are the most selfish people there are. I mean, I never saw more selfish person than myself, for example, and you guys. I mean, you guys really do everything you can for your own good. I mean, you really, you know, want to improve yourselves in every way, and no matter the cost.
Yes.
And yeah, so I'm just sometimes I'm having a hard time, letting go, because there is a strong emotional connection. I'm so invested in having the relationship with my mother and my family. It's really hard for me to let go. And before, it was actually when I was in a blissed out state before they put medication in me. But I was really not thinking at all, in words at all. At least when I was thinking, I was maybe thinking in visuals, not in words. And when I think about craves, it's because we think. I mean, we have cravings because we think in words in some way. Because you're thinking about when you're thinking, you think in words. For example, am I never going to eat uh, grains again? And that always puts pressure on a person. If you'd only be present and really try your best at the very moment, you would go with some cucumbers and tomatoes, and you would be fine. But when you're asking yourself questions, am I never going to eat meat again or something, then you're going to put some pressure on you, and it's all mental. For example, yesterday was about 25 or 6 hours of my dry fast when I had taste of meat in my mouth, you know and it was I enjoyed actually the taste. I had some fast food said that taste in my mouth. I was laughing at myself at work, and I was just thinking I would love to eat this, but I'm so happy that I'm detoxing, and it's really mental thing. Cravings are really a mental thing. I mean, I did felt really strong physical cravings, but it's about your mindset, I guess.
And
Yeah.
it's also I see it all as connected. I don't it's, emotions and thoughts, I feel they're coming also with obstructions. When we do a long fast, there are really no cravings. Like, you would look at your favorite meal when you were eating,
Just blank.
it looks like a chair. It does not stimulate you whatsoever. It doesn't stimulate you
When you
at
get
some
in
point.
when you get to the high field strength.
Yeah, and that happens when your body is like cleaner inside. The less obstructions, the less the cravings. And then you go back and you fall off. The more you obstruct yourself, the more cravings you have. It's over and over and over. I see it. So it's like physical, yes, but it's also emotional, and it's all connected, I see.
You know,
Yeah.
like I say, I love eating, but I love fasting way more. So I focus on the fasting as much as I possibly can more. But when, choosing to eat, instead of saying, I'm never going to eat grains again, well, I enjoy eating fruits and salads much more than anything else. And leave those names out. Don't even put them in there. Try using words that are going to be on the positive for you.
Yes, rather than no.
Like, I used to, look at different foods and for example, I would look at a plate of pasta and say, I don't see any food there, so I move on. Where's my food? Just you have to trick your mind. You have your subconscious mind, the ego. That's the way I did it for many years. Eating raw vegan diet.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I just reprogram myself in that way, and that's the way we do it through fasting. If when you're fasting so much and you feel so much better, you want to be in that state more often. And are we going to leave food completely? Most of us will not leave food completely, and that doesn't matter. We don't want to put that pressure on ourselves to eat again. That's too much pressure, as you said before. With the not eating grains again. Can you imagine? "Oh, I'm never going to eat food again." That's way too much pressure. So,
Yeah.
let's one day at a time. Today I'm food free. Tomorrow comes, never tomorrow never comes. So today I'm food free, and you keep repeating that until
And
you feel like tasting some food for pleasure, because we're not looking at food as nutrition anymore.
or honestly,
We threw that out the window.
yeah. And when you do the master fast long enough, like when you do a long master fast, you will not have cravings, in my opinion, unless you start thinking about breaking your fast. Yeah.
I mean, of course, but even now, on day 4 almost, it's illogical to put something solid in my mouth and swallow it. It just don't makes any sense, And it's even hard with the pudding after a while, Even with the pudding, it's like, what is this? So
Not
yeah,
food.
And yeah, you were saying about loving, being selfish. Yeah, I totally believe that it's very important that we work on loving ourselves. It's totally a journey of self-love. There's so much for us, for every one of us to learn, and let's do it as respectfully as possible, with least judgment towards each other, because it's really, we judge each other, ourselves, you know and let's just, um, I guess, let's just love ourselves more, and so we can love other people and respect them more as well. It's yeah, it's a journey of self-love. That's all, really, I can say. Life is a journey of self-love, and when we get into fasting, it really does help us see it more. We see it much more clearer.
yeah, I guess so. Because I think that this lifestyle is really about the self, really about observing yourself and taking full responsibility and being with yourself. And yes, we do have the support here, but um, at the end of the day, we are in this alone with ourselves. And
which is
I, this may feel this may seem a little bit wrong for me to say, but I actually think that sometimes, I mean, forgive me for this, but sometimes I think that support can actually do the opposite, you know, because I'm hearing some people they tell me that I'm amazing, you know, stuff like that, and I know I'm nowhere near, you know, amazing. I have uh,
to do
so
what
much work to do, and
your potential is much bigger than that.
We're all amazing. What's the matter?
Yeah, like
I
your
mean, I
potential is much higher.
I could do so much more, you know, and like I'm nowhere near as invested as you guys, you know.
No,
But like,
that's not true, you know. Everybody's doing whatever they can do, and we are all evolving. Honestly, I have respect for everyone, starting with 1 day a week of master fast. You know, if you are being persistent and patient and loving yourself with the journey, you are doing a lot. You know, all of us, we are not perfect. We have all of us have fallen. All of us have fallen. I mean, and we have learned, and it's been 4.5 years of fasting, and still learning when I eat. It's not easy. Nobody said it's easy. We're nowhere near perfect. Trust me.
yeah, can I ask a question? Should we seek to be perfect? Should we have that in mind?
Not.
I don't believe there's perfection is available in this realm, but the journey to remember perfection in the other realms is available.
Like it's maybe perfection is like God, and we don't have to really separate God.
You know, like you said, we're all alone, all one, all one.
Yeah,
We're all alone,
yeah, we're all one.
all one.
When we
When
are
you are
alone,
alone, you're connected to the all
yeah.
one. You're never alone.
I totally, honestly, I do say, we have mentioned that before, Gina and I, that interacting within the group and Zooms is more than enough interaction, in my opinion, for the Masterfast support. More than enough. I feel like it's enough. We don't need to interact with so many people. It's too much. Too much for it distracts, I feel like just let's focus, let's focus on what we want and just do it properly. Sometimes there's so much interaction outside and it's very distracting. Um, Anywhere, too much interaction online in general. It's too much. It can be too much, and unnecessary, in my opinion.
Yeah, most of us are all overstimulated by so many different things in today's fast-paced world. So it's good to keep a sharp focus and a steady, consistent pace of where you want to, what do you want to do. It's just out there. It's just so much confusion. We've all been part of that, and we've seen where it got us. And nowhere fast.
Yeah.
So we need to hone down and stay focused,
On what we really
close
want.
focus. We don't have all the answers, but like we say that through our experiences, sharing our experiences, um, the level of awareness gets expanded more and more and more as a group together, and it's just amazing what's been happening in the last 4+ years. With,
But yeah, but still make some room for you to be alone, and yeah, for yourself to be alone, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the group is great. Also, make time for yourself to be in peace, because it can be too much information, so many different interactions, even within the group. You know. Yeah.
Yes, it is super helpful for a lot of people, especially those who are just started living the lifestyle. And I guess at some point you will want to isolate, and this is the idea that is so is so pleasant. It's such a good idea for me. The idea of isolation. It's so appealing.
Yeah, I've always done best on fast alone, away from everybody. Because first and foremost, it's a spiritual journey. No interaction, nothing from anybody, no opinions, no nothing. Just being there all alone and just stay focused, going within. That's the best journeys I've had on fasting. And those where the biggest revelations come through. When all kinds of things are coming through you, it's more challenging. That's why I've been saying in the last couple of years, it's been the biggest challenge for me taking care of my mother and stuff, because I don't have that stretch of being alone anymore. You know, for consistent times. But anyway, we do the best we can in the situations we're in, and if you have the opportunity, that's take it to be alone. That's where you learn the most. Long digestive vacations all alone in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you come back with a nice, strong field strength, and you'll be able to handle anything. Nothing will phase you. Go give your mother a big hug and kiss. Doesn't matter what she says, because you elevate her soul through your field strength.
That's what I do. I just give my mother a hug and I wish her all the best, and I'm on my way.
Yeah, yeah. Always,
You know,
I
always.
mean, there's nothing I can do really.
let's face it, you know, our parents, most of them are not going to change. You know, my mother, you know, she sees what, you know, we've done, no more seizures, this, that, and everything. You know, people come in, a new caregiver, and she asks, oh, you know, what does your mother eat? You know, mostly fruits and veggies and stuff, you know, fish once in a while, you know, once a week or so. And my mother, I don't eat meat no more, you know, so cute.
She's so proud of herself.
If her sister brings a plate of meat, she's gonna eat it. You know, just you know,
But she's so proud of herself.
you know,
She before she did not want to change.
all those seizures, man. It was not fun, man. It was not fun. All I can tell you.
Yeah, honestly, like at this point, just give them love because that's what they want. You don't have to go to, you don't have to change so much, but always be loving. She appreciates.
Yeah, I mean, they did raise me, my mother, she breastfed me. I feel the obligation to give back.
Yeah.
I know that, my mother um, is not very, productive. She's very, destructive. But when she, for example, she asked me for money or something like that, I'm gonna give it to her. I mean, I cannot refuse to give her money or something like that. And I know she will, buy cigarettes and meat and I don't know, soda or stuff like that, but it's okay. She can do whatever she wants to.
Yeah. That's all we can do. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, keep posted on how you're doing.
So
That's
the
great.
tooth, they put a temporary complete filling.
Yeah, I think it's a temporary filling, and she said it's only calcium. And yes, that reminds me. I also asked her what about topping it and capping it later, and she was so against that idea. But when I mentioned to her, and she's actually a holistic dentist, but very bad ones, since there are no holistic dentists here. And um, and I mentioned to her that I know a guy who did that, and he actually kept his tooth. and she was in disbelief and wanted an X-ray and wanted a record of that because that would be impossible. And she asked me what did he use, and I just said, oh, he just changed his lifestyle and used some ozone on the tooth as well. And she knew about the field, and she said, said that that was interesting and that might work. So yeah.
Yeah, keep working with it. You like right now. You said you have no more pain.
Yeah, I don't have any more pain. I don't know why. I mean, the dry fast help obviously, but I guess tinctures as well. Maybe some urine as well.
Yeah, you know, I when I was eating the high fat again, that's when I started having pains in my teeth again, and that one there. So I know the tooth's alive. The tooth didn't die like they told, you know, the tooth's dying, all this crap and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes when I do yoga, I actually could feel the pulsating in my tooth, so I know it's still alive.
Yeah, keep working with it. You know, look at the reference of whatever tooth it is to what organ in the body, and you got to work with the whole body and assist those, you know, areas. That's it. Keep working with it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
You know, if you can save it, amazing. If you can't, grow another one.
And can I ask, what should I actually do with the other tooth that show signs of in cavities or something like that?
You have other ones?
Yeah, I have small cavities in some of my tooth as well. I think 2 or 3. Should I just?
There's just keep doing the same thing you're doing with the other tooth. You're doing your whole mouth, and just keep working with it. Keep massaging your gums. Just keep doing all that. Keep fasting. I know there's several cases of people who fasted for years and cavities, cap fillings actually fell out, and the teeth, you know, regenerated without them even knowing. You know, there's stories, lots of stories like that. So just keep fasting, keep fasting, keep fasting. Keep eating clean, minimal.
I love using miswak for cleaning my teeth. I haven't used it actually in a while, but it's amazing for cleaning the teeth. It's on the website.
This
There's
is
a
a
link.
neem stick.
So it's basically a wooden stick from like a plant.
Yeah, this is from a tree. That's from a tree.
Yeah, and
you use this for cleaning your teeth.
yeah, you can see on YouTube how to use it. And it's like a brush, but it's natural and it's very gentle. It's much gentler than a toothbrush.
Not this one. This one's hard.
And you can massage the gums as well. And I just feel my teeth, like, you know, when you come out of from the hygienist, it's so clear and so clean. You can feel it. This is how it feels when I do this, but you have to do it for like maybe 10 minutes. I like to do it maybe at least twice a week, for 10 minutes each time, and go through like each tooth and just brush it. And then from the back as well, and make it a habit. Yeah, you can use it every day. Very gentle.
Everything's possible. Everything's possible. Even the things that have not been discovered.
Yep.
So keep the book wide open. Don't let anybody sway you from, you know, the belief that's not possible and all that crap. The stuff we've seen, a lot of it's impossible. So,
Well, you're the living example, Gino. What day are you on?
well, a couple days ago, I started semi. I started last Monday, the 2nd of December.
At night? That's when you started? The 2nd?
2nd of December.
Yeah. Okay.
So what day is that? I don't know. Count. We're on
That's
the
incredible.
14th today. It's you just work your way up over the years, and you keep going. You keep going, and you keep going, no matter what anybody tells you. You're gonna die in 3 days if you don't drink. You're gonna die in so many days if you don't eat. Yep, yep, okay. And I kept going. In my mind, I'd be dead if I kept eating. So
Do you still have releases on 14 days drive?
I had one bowel movement. Yeah, but I feel I need to move something, so it's not when it's dry. It's tougher to move.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, well, good luck.
We don't need luck. We just have the new understanding, and we keep going and keep going and be persistent, consistent. You know what I mean? Be prudent in everything you do. Don't be stupid. Be very prudent. You know, we have it all laid out very simply for anybody to do it safely and effectively and start expanding on that. And over the years, you will. It's just going to happen. You're gonna build your confidence. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen overnight. Like we've seen people trying to push dry fast, doing 5, 10 day dry fast out of whatever diets. Where are they? They're gone.
When I did my first long MFS, I mean longer, um, I was actually pushing it. I was only drinking 1 liter juice, and I was doing 36 hours weekly. And for this master fast, I'm doing, which is, I think I'll probably do about, you know, a level 6 maybe, or do a 20-day master fast. And I'm actually, smacking the grape juice with some apple juice. And I'm also using less stinking nettles, which I used to use. I have a freezer full of stinking nettles, and I could handle them before, and enter the dry completely out of any fluids, because they're a strong diuretic, and you just piss all the fluids from your body with the nettle tea. And this is why I couldn't even do the 24-hour dry, because I was always drinking the tea before I would go into the dry, and it would the tea itself would dry me out completely. So
How much tea you drinking?
I'm drinking like 1 cup in the morning and 1 cup in the evening. And
Okay, well, if you feel like cut it down, right, to maybe half a cup. I only do like a quarter cup of tea, morning and
yeah,
night.
I'm doing 2 halves of cups,
Yeah,
so it's 1 full cup in total.
yeah, you can reduce it a bit. I use the tea just for the information. You know, I'm not using it to as a washing as we do with the juice. What we do
Mhm.
for washing, but there's many things you can do. Just allow the process to unfold and embrace it all. It's all good. Um,
Yes, I'm taking it a bit slow.
Go ahead.
I'm just taking it very slow this time.
Yeah,
So
take care of that tooth. You know, like first sign that you have teeth problem is body says stop eating. It's a strong signal, but nobody pays attention. They go to the dentist. Right? Stop eating. Body saying there's something going on.
and the interesting thing, when I had the tooth pains, the moment I started eating, the pain went away. So actually, when I started, digesting the food and eliminating it, that's when the tooth started hurting really bad. So it's definitely, the Chinese reflexology, connection with the transverse colon and the tilts. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you eat a stimulant, stimulants, what do? They stimulate. Our foods are stimulant. So,
I'm out of battery, sorry.
It's okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeanette.
Mhm.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are
Awesome.
How am I? I'm well. I'm just chilling out tonight. It's nice to be with you all. I worked today and I was breaking a dry, and I broke the dry earlier than I wanted to, just to be kind to myself. It was so hard this time around for me. Last night going to bed on the dry, and I had only started it at 4 p.m. yesterday. And now I'm going to bed and I'm like, okay, I haven't even really gotten into this dry. It's still early. And my mind is already like dreaming about, oh, what will I eat when I eat again? And like imagining different meals. And so I was like, okay. And then it was like, just go down and eat something right now. That's where my thinking went. And I was like, okay. And I just talked to myself nice. And I was like, okay, look, like, you need to sleep. You're working tomorrow. You need your rest. If you want to break it early tomorrow, just break it early. It's a big deal. You could always do another one when you feel like you want to do another one.
Right.
Exactly.
So I'm taking some of the input from last week's video too, from Inga and Hans Peter. Like Hans Peter, I remember what you said if you're listening. About just doing what feels right, So yeah, that's what's going on.
Good. So are you changing a little bit your plan?
Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward that. I feel like I'm leaning toward a hybrid lifestyle for a minute,
Mhm.
because I don't know, I did like 8 weeks in total on level 3. Well, I did like 2 weeks on level 4.
Yeah.
That I regressed and did 6 weeks on level 3, but I took like a week off eating poorly, kind of,
Mhm.
eating like I used to eat, like
Mhm.
not near the quantity, but just eating kind of whatever I felt like I wanted to eat. You guys know about it. And then getting back on track for the last couple weeks, and then realizing like it might be a little much for my emotional body right now. Like I might just not, like maybe my soul isn't ready yet. Like I look at my family and I know I'm a product of that, and I'm the only one doing anything like this, and I feel like,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
I think I'm like them, in a lot of ways. Like
Of
we
course.
so much pleasure in eating, and just like it just seems, even I work in the health food stores, and like I was at Nature's Emporium working today, and they have like samples of like all these delicious things, organic spelt crust vegan pizza, and like it's just so tempting. And I think I just might lack like the strength and discipline, to really make it a lifestyle.
So you're doing the hybrid for some time, and then you want to reevaluate.
Pardon?
So you're thinking to do the master fast hybrid for a while, and then
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I love the washing. I even love fasting, it's just I noticed this inner child constantly speaking up, and it's like, yeah, I'm just not emotionally there. And I think I used to be very motivated because I was really sick, and I noticed that I'm quickly forgetting about all that. And so I really want to make sure that I don't go back there, and that I just keep digging deeper. So even if I'm not super prepared emotionally to do it what I wanted to do it, which was the level 3, just recognizing my limitations and accepting that right now, that maybe the hybrid is still really good because I get to, you know, wash the colon. Like
No,
I'm
I mean,
doing it for
yeah. I mean, you know, it's okay to take a little break. It doesn't mean, you know, you still do whatever you want to do, which like any lifestyle you want to do. If you want to do level 3 and you felt amazing on it, get back on it, but maybe not now. Maybe do the hybrid for a bit
Mm.
because you don't feel right now. You don't feel so motivated. But then
Mhm.
get back. I would get back on the best lifestyle that I've ever had, and for me, I would, you know, like at least just plan it, you know. You don't have to do it right now, but have a plan and, you know, like sit down and think about it. How did you feel your best? Which way
Mhm.
was it?
I haven't been able to find that with,
Or was it the level 3? Because you did enjoy level 3 too, right?
well, I only did it for 8 weeks, and
Good time.
I feel like it was hard for me. Like it wasn't most of the time, but it's like to
Some,
make that a lifestyle. Like it doesn't seem like it's, I'm not ready for it, I guess.
mm. Well, then just do the hybrid for a while and then maybe do level 2, you know, or
Well,
something.
you came from eating 7 days a week for a while, right? How did you feel?
For my whole life.
How did you feel compared to when you're fasting?
Oh, uh, yeah. Well, I had really bad health problems, so I felt really awful a lot of my life.
We
And
haven't seen anybody who's master fasted be happy eating 7 days a week.
anyone who what?
Who, after doing master fasting, is happy eating 7 days a week.
Yeah, like no one is what you're saying.
No.
Yeah, I know. So I don't want to eat 7 days a week, but I want to flow with it a bit easier on me because I think there's this weird like rebel that in me that doesn't like the discipline. And like I just there's this thing that just wants to flow and like, oh well, usually when I want to fast, it's because I feel that, oh, I'm eating a lot, like I'm overdoing the food. Okay, so now I want to fast. That's why I usually would want to fast, you know, but I'm hoping to adopt it where it doesn't get to that point where I just have a healthier mindset around eating. Because also for me, when I'm really going hard with the fasting, like I've been for the last 8 weeks, it starts making me like care so much about food. And like it seems like I like food even more because I'm fasting. Like I'm almost getting obsessed. Like, you know, whereas when I was raw, you know, raw vegan, right? Couple 2.5 years before I got into master fasting, it was ridiculous amounts of food, but I wasn't eating it, but like it was part of this protocol I was following. It was like, oh, you eat breakfast and then you have a smoothie and then you have like a green juice and then a lunch and then another smoothie and then a dinner. And with the dinner, you could have a little cooked. And, you know, it was so much food that I didn't need to eat a lot because I was like, who in their right mind could eat this? This is like so much food. So, but now I feel like, I don't know, I need to find a balance between, yeah, between it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, the thing out there is you need more nutrition, more and more and more and more and more, right? That's what everybody's bought into.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Remember I asked you what was your best diet and you said mainly raw, right? High raw. So get back on that with fat, you know, fasting. You can do the hybrid maybe, and then when you eat like the raw mainly, and then maybe keep your dry, one day a week and monthly dry, and the week daily dry as well. Yeah, see, maybe for now, for some time, that will be the best for you for some time, you know, and then you can reevaluate maybe after 6 months. You can evaluate and see if that's your best feeling, or um, you want to go to a different level, you know.
Yeah, so like, just sticking with the daily and then doing the 24-hour dry. Like, I feel like that would be attainable and it wouldn't make me so crazy about food, but I'll have to follow up and let y'all know.
Or maybe do 2 days a week, even better. 1 day of liquid,
Mm.
1 day dry. That's another way.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, I know, or maybe could I shorten the 24-hour dry to 20? Do you think it'd still be good?
Better than nothing.
It's just hard once I go a full juice day and then a full dry day. Like, I get emotional eating problems. Like, I mean, I have them regardless, but they're more pronounced.
You know, I would do at least 2 days, given, like, since you have done already 40 days in the past, right? I would do at least for 2 days a week, and do the 5 days hybrid,
Mm.
days a week of level 2, and just stick with it for 6 months and then reevaluate. That's what I would do.
I'll give that some thought. Yeah, I think our last conversation too, Rana, really helped me when you were asking me, like, what was your best diet? And that's, I think, why I'm thinking this way. It's like, I can't seem to eat my best diet when I'm doing level 3 because I just get all crazy and then want all this cooked food, So,
Emotions.
You know, I feel
no.
I feel also for us, maybe when we're fasting, it's not about like that we go crazy about it's more, I feel, that we know that the food is really not going to do it, whether it's raw or cooked, or, you know, it's not going to satisfy us as much as fasting. And that's why we don't, some of us say, you know what, I'll keep it clean, raw or cooked, you know. It's only for pleasure anyways, you know. So it's different. It's different than when you're eating every day, 7 days a week, raw food, you know. It's different because now you're fasting, and you know that fasting is more fun, you know, feels better than eating. And
Yeah.
so when you eat, you don't care too much about making it the best diet, because I mean, like raw, for example, or fruitarian. And that's because you know it's not necessarily the way to go. The best way, I would say, is, you know, it is fasting. I mean, if you have done long fasts, you would know, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. It feels so good to just not have anything in my system, and I don't struggle with hunger. That's not the issue. It's the imagination of what these foods might make me feel like. It's just such a drug.
Yeah, these levels, you know, when you go on and off, it's not easy. Nobody said it's easy, but there you learn a lot from them. When you fast, eat, you learn so much about fasting and eating.
Yeah.
Are they easy? No, it's much easier to fast.
Yeah, I don't regret the 8 weeks doing this lifestyle, and who knows, like, if I'll decide to jump back in with the level 3, but or level even 2. Yeah.
You'll have to
Free
decide.
looking.
Go back to 7 days a week of eating for a while. Let us know.
Well, I ate for 7 weeks for 1 week a couple of weeks ago. 7 days for 1 week, and I was like immediately head to toe fatigued. Like, I immediately felt just awful, like a zombie trying to walk around and like get stuff done. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I had no energy, and even just these last 2 weeks getting back in, I was like going for these walks. It's freezing cold out. No one wants to go out, but you end up just wanting to move. You're just, oh, okay, I'll go for a quiet evening walk alone. Like, that'll be calming. It's like a whole new view. Whereas if I was eating, I'd just be like, oh, like, I'm so full and I just have to lie around now. Anyways, it's like, I know I'm probably coming across as privileged because there's a lot of people just suffering, you know, and I've suffered too, and I know what it's like. It's just like once you come out of that, then you just forget, and you just start with your whole emotional healing and things, and that's where I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Does the hat make you more hungry or less?
I don't know. I don't feel like doing my hair like on a cold day.
It's not cold today. It was 2 degrees or something.
I know it's colder than in the tropics, though, where I dream of being. And thank you to Gino for your comment last week about listening more to your passions. It's helped me a lot to reflect and take some steps, action steps, like planting some small seeds for my passions to come true one day.
Yeah. We're all, holding on to stuff that's keeping us away from living our passions sometimes. And once we reflect and clear it, and we can go for it. Where are we at? We're almost at 2 hours. Anybody else need to splurge?
I might just say a few things.
Yeah.
You can hear me, yeah?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Yeah. You see, I mean, like, look, the thing with Angelica, and I mean everybody else is in the same thing, and you put the post you put up about Peter Crown, isn't it? Cone or whatever his name was. Yeah. Like, see, when suffering, and that's why I remember even during the week, that's why I said, what's your take on the surrender and grounding? Because only with all of it, any suffering has a cause. And if you surrender to the cause, then it goes away. It just goes away on you. And I think that's so important that you practice that with yourself instead of going in circles and circles and circles, which we do anyway, but that you understand if you surrender to the cause and if you see where the cause lays, then it'll go and it'll let you go, you see? Remember, don't give up eating. Let eating give up you. That's really the way to think it, yeah? Like, don't try desperately to do something. No, surrender to it. And then you'll find that through repetition, as we do in MFS, it'll let you go. It goes away from you. And then you're at the stage where you want to be. That's really what it comes down. And that needs practice and that needs repetition. And also, as I said, admission, because, you have to open up and say, hang on, I've looked at that the wrong way and I should really think in another direction. And change, look at the cause, and that's where once we do that and once we keep adding to that, as I said, opens up, because through the physical obstructions that we remove with fasting, and the window of emotions opens up and the source comes closer and closer, then you got to understand there's a lot of stuff inside you, going right back, well, as far back as you like, going into your ancestry and all the rest of it. But all that you got to just surrender to it. And when that surrender happens, that's when balance comes, and you're basically then you're in the right position. So that's really where and you could see in that video clip, the guy that had the physical damages or the physical problems that he had, how they went away instantaneously, just because he surrendered. He went to the cause, he changed, he could see that he was looking at the wrong way, and just that energy relief then brings everything back into balance. And that's what the body does then, simple as that, on emotional level, on physical level, on the spiritual level, and that's all it is. So yeah, surrender. surrender is really something that, you know, is really, and I mean, you know, there's different levels of surrender, but I'm just saying, just in general, that is really something that even I do, you know, and that's why, and I don't make it complicated because I keep it really to the most simple thing, and surrendering that nature is where then really things happening, you know, surrender to source and nature, and then everything else falls in place, as simple as that. And that doesn't need to be, as I said, complicated or anything. It just needs you being in connection with it and you feeling it and being able to open up and admit and let go of it. You know, simple as that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. That was good to listen because I'm just being busy around the house here. But it's yeah, it's always inspirational. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you. So you know, it's always about the fields. You know, these people are searching for this, that, and the other diet, and so on and so forth. The beauty about master fasting is it's just a roadmap that allows you to go within, and it brings forth all these different things to your face of what's the real problem if you're willing to look at it. You know, some of us will close it off, like what we say. You know, some people just can't let go of their caca; they want to hold on to it. And if you're not ready to let it go, you know, you're gonna be going through the same scenarios. So once it comes to the surface, you realize it, let it go, and keep it flowing. Everything solves itself through the fields, not through anything else. The fasting is just a wonderful tool that we have to allow the process to unfold and come to recognize what these things are. And they will, the deeper and deeper you go, you're going to see more and more stuff come to the surface that we've been holding on to for decades or generations or whatever. It'll come. Believe you me. You keep digging, they'll keep coming. And it's just part of the journey. And we surrender and allow the process to unfold. The soul takes care of it, an autopilot, as we love to say, because that's the only thing that really does all the work here that we see in this material world. It's all done through the fields. It's not done matter with matter. It's all done through the fields. Everything we see is done through fields. And the more we come to that realization and understanding, the more profound and more expanding, you know, the more we'll be able to expand our awareness when we have this basic new understanding. And it's awesome to watch things unfold and the magic happening as we move along in this crazy lifestyle. So if there's anybody else, or we can call it a close. Next weekend, do we have anybody next weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I forgot to.
Because next weekend, I got an annual Christmas party with the buddy, the friends.
Oh, yeah?
So we're going to have to,
What time?
well, in the evening, close it up no later than 2 hours.
9 o'clock?
Get out at the latest. But
He's excited.
always a blast.
So you're saying next week is a shorter Zoom?
Well, we're going to max it at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Okay. Still too bad.
No.
Yeah.
What's on your shirt, Gino?
Apples. Granny Smith.
Oh, cool. I could see them now. I wasn't sure. It looks pretty psychedelic. I like it.
Hand sent this.
Ooh, what a great gift. Oh. Thank you, everyone, for tonight being here with us all. It means a lot to me.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Nowhere else we'd rather be. That's why we continue to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, everyone. I'm very grateful to be part of this group.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, we love to hear from everybody. Maybe next time we'll hear updates from other people as well. It'd be nice.
Mhm.
All right, folks.
Thank you.
Good night.
You. Mwah. Have a great week.
Laugh flowing.
Take care of yourselves.
Thank you. You too.
Ciao, ciao.
Peace.
Bye, Jeanette. Love you.
I love you too, Angelica. Take care.
Thank you.